Well, we've all seen it, right? It's Monday, so why is there not Blue Jays news? Juan Soto possibly taking a huge deal to come to the Toronto Blue Jays? What is going on?
You are Locked On Blue Jays, your daily Toronto Blue Jays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to Locked On Blue Jays. Thank you for making Locked On Blue Jays your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. Place your first $5 bet and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. As always, I'm Braden Uwasco. He's Carter First. You can find us on Twitter, Braden5Uwasco. Braden5Uwasco. Carter First too as well on Instagram and TikTok at Locked On Blue Jays. As well, if you're new here on YouTube or you're listening somewhere else, make sure you go to that YouTube and you subscribe. It really does help us out. And then you guys will be notified whenever there's lives, shorts, extra things that we post, anything like that. I'm going to let you guys in on something. We just dropped something new merch sort of ideas that we've been throwing out. We've been designing a couple and whatever. So I'm going to show you them. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll show it to you. And then if you're listening somewhere, I'll give a little explanation. The link is in the description. Make sure you guys go and check that out. It helps us out. And if you like something, you can get it. So I'll show it here. This is the new one that we just made. It's the Davis Schneider merch. We got a little something going on there for Davis. So make sure you guys go and check that out. One of our favorite players here on the podcast. So go check that out as well. We have our usual ones, the Locked On Blue Jays merch as well. So you can go get those and support the boys if you want to. We also have a Discord link in the description if you guys want to hit that. But let's get into the big news card. I can't put it off any longer. Big article comes out on Juan Soto. Big just news in general around Juan Soto, the offseason. Will he sign with the Toronto Blue Jays? What's the contract looking like? So we're going to talk about just the Juan Soto media spin, first of all, and just what happened here. Then we'll get into what the contract would look like if it came to fruition. And then, of course, we got to make our MLB picks, how we think the rest of the playoffs are going to go now that another round is finished. Carter, I don't know, man. Where do you want to start with the Juan Soto stuff? There's a lot to get to here.
I think we got to start here. Are we ready to get hurt again? Are we actually ready for this? Are we doing this again? Shohei Ohtani and then Juan Soto. Obviously, it's not pitching, but you don't get players like this back-to-back years very often. These articles are coming out again, getting Toronto Blue Jays fans' hopes up. So we're kind of going to go over how much we're reading into this, how likely this is actually good. Is this a possibility? Is this a reality that the Toronto Blue Jays could have? Or is it the Shohei Ohtani thing? We'll get way into this stuff. But with Juan Soto, Yankees, Mets are the front runners. That's kind of what we've been gathering. But there's two massive articles sort of giving me this Bichette vibes things again. Some friends leaking information, I guess. How credible of a source is this? Braden, you have the article. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, for sure. So this is from Jay's Journal. They got it from a couple places. There's like 19 sites that are spinning the same story.
New Jersey Advanced Media is the main one I was getting for the original article.
That's right. So New Jersey Advanced Media's Randy Miller, there's a good chance the general manager, Ross Atkin, plans to offer Soto what his sources refer to as an astronomical offer. Now, again, a lot of rumors involved in this, and there were some hints to, sort of what's going on. Where was this implied from? And it was an ex-teammate of Juan Soto's that is still friends with them, that I guess talked to him, that they expect the Blue Jays to make an astronomical offer. So not that necessarily this is a confirmed offer, that I don't even think there's been talks necessarily to Juan Soto, but I think that is the feeling in the room. And again, no contract talks can be had right now. They're still in the playoffs. There's a deal throughout the league that you're not allowed to do that. So of course, this isn't official. This is all word of mouth, but there's now a few sources that are backing the astronomical offer talks. And I don't think that that's out of the ballpark, Carter, that there will be an astronomical offer. I think that's very possible. But I think the bigger question is Juan Soto going to sign with the Blue Jays? And I think we all are in the same headspace here that we were just hurt by Shohei Ohtani, as you mentioned. How quick am I to jump on that Juan Soto is going to, for some reason, come to a team that didn't make the playoffs? not high.
Okay, one thing that I want to we'll get out of the air it out early is let's keep John Morosi away from this off-season headline. Let's keep him away from this storyline. Just again, you get your information from a tough source, obviously not accurate. Just I'm not ready to be hurt by John Morosi again. If I'm even ready to be hurt again with Juan Soto. But it's going to be interesting to see down the stretch. Obviously, a lot has to do with the team makeup. There's a lot of factors that go into this. There's friends, obviously, his MLB buddies. There's the money aspect of it. There's the team organization. There's roster construction. There's a lot of different things that go into this. But before we air those out, I want to go into a continuation of Randy Miller. So as a continuation of this astronomical article or offer article, Randy Miller continues, and he kind of got a little bit more information out of Juan Soto after the Yankees beat the Royals in Game 3 of their series. So Miller asks Juan Soto about if he's heard anything about this, or the rumors true, things like this. Juan Soto, again, you kind of said this, and you say this before, you're not allowed to talk to the players, especially on playoff teams. Anyone right now, the free agency period has not started. That is tampering. So off the surface, at least, you're not supposed to say that you're talking to teams behind their back. Does this happen? Yes, it does happen. Do people find out? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I feel like this happens more often than we actually think. But Juan Soto's response to this was, I don't know anything about that. They can't talk to me now. Let's see what happens in the offseason. Kind of just a media trained response. Don't really expect anything different from him. Again, you're not going to call out anyone, even if there was things going on behind your back, because then you're just openly saying that you you broke the MLB's rules on free agency.
Yeah, exactly. He can't say anything. So what am I taking away from this again? This, to me, seems like one of those looking for clicks type of thing. And don't get me wrong. We know all media does it. I mean, hell, we do it, right? If something comes out, you know, if it's a big story, you're going to put it, you're going to talk about it. And a lot of these people are. But it's where it's being generated from that upsets me. Because, yes, we get it, 19 different sites are talking about it. And it's frustrating to see because everybody's taking the bait. And this is exactly what happened last December. I'm at the point where I'm frustrated. I think a lot of the fans are even frustrated seeing this. And to know that the Yankees are in the playoffs going for a World Series run, why would this be a conversation? Right? You'd think that Juan Soto would want to stay with the team that have the best shot of winning a World Series, and that will probably pay him the bag anyway. So I don't know. I don't know where people's heads are at right now, and I don't understand the hype around this because I am just so not. I mean, I'm paying attention, but I am not. I'm taking everything with the smallest grain of salt humanly possible.
Well, it seems like a lot of Toronto Blue Jays fans are really diving into this, and the playoffs aren't even over. We're in the AL and NLCS. There's still multiple weeks of baseball to be had. We're not even really close to free agency. Why would this be on anyone's mind? Even like Scott Boras, maybe behind the scenes, is working a little bit on contract extensions. He's an agent for Juan Soto. He probably should be doing this behind the scenes. But Juan Soto, as he is not focused on the Blue Jays whatsoever. He should not be caring about the Blue Jays at all. He should be focused on the MLB games in front of him, the playoff baseball that he's trying to win, the World Series aspirations that every single MLB player has. Juan Soto has not spoken about the Toronto Blue Jays, at least maybe with these friends things. Again, anyone can say that. You look at the origin of this headline, and it was Juan Soto's friend, and they got it from a phone call. Like right there is that is not a good source whatsoever. That's some hearsay evidence. You're not going to get an actual take or an actual headline from that. It's like you said, you're getting the clicks. How much validity is in that statement? It's the same thing I'm taking from Bichette when his friend apparently said that Bichette was interested in a trade from the Toronto Blue Jays. At that point, yeah, maybe there's some speculation. Obviously, these guys are probably having conversations with their family, with their close friends, things like this about their future. But Juan Soto should be focused on the MLB baseball. Should be focused on the New York Yankees. I feel like the Blue Jays are the last thing on his mind right now.
Yeah, I agree. And in the article, it says that the source wanted to remain anonymous. So if you're not even willing to put your name on it, I take zero validity from that. It's something that I'm not even keeping in my mind. Like, yes, would I love to have Juan Soto on the Toronto Blue Jays? Absolutely, 1,000% yes. But again, why are we getting all hyped up over something that, for one, Ross Atkins has said that kind of batter isn't something that he's necessarily focused on. He's focused on guys that are going to be high average guys that, can play, that are, multi-dimensional players. And Juan Soto's a power bat. And that's exactly what we went over last week. So for one, Ross Atkins, of course, Juan Soto comes across your line, you're probably trying to sign him, no matter what kind of player he is. But in the other sense, they're in the playoff. There's so many red flags to this story that I'm literally just, I don't care. I don't care yet until the offseason comes along and a deal is in place and there's contract talks going on and we get actual information. What am I going to sit here and rack my brain over something that probably isn't going to happen? No, I'm not going to waste my time on that. So instead, I'm wasting your guys' time telling you about it.
Yeah, it's a sensitive subject for Toronto Blue Jays fans with superstars coming to the Toronto Blue Jays. But Juan Soto, I feel like Juan Soto obviously fits the Ross Atkins prototypical. Yeah, like maybe his power is his greatest attribute, but this isn't just a power bat. This is a guy that has one of the greatest eyes in the MLB. He can do it in the field. He's pretty solid on the base paths. He's a very good player. He's not just a power bat. This guy can really do it all. And when it comes down to the contract talks, it's probably going to be a top 3 contract in MLB history. We'll get into the contracts. We'll get into which teams are favored to get him later on. But from these articles this early on, like we're not even in really the offseason. The Blue Jays are in the offseason technically because unfortunately we suck. But other teams are still playing baseball. Free agency has not started. It's very hard to take this with any sort of validity with the history with this Toronto Blue Jays, these headlines around these sort of superstars and just where we are in the season.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, again, I'm still sore from the whole Shohei Ohtani thing, and I just don't want to be let down. And I think we are putting so much pressure on this offseason coming around that, yeah, Juan Soto might be, the piece that everybody's like expecting. Again, we're expecting a big name because that we need them to do something. But in reality, that just won't be what's going to happen. It's not going to be him, and I think we have to get that out of our heads that that he's a realistic option when it's really not there, because this team still has bullpen to sign. They have position players they need to sign, and are they going to drop the bag for one player and that be it? I highly doubt it.
He's going into a season that we've laid out multiple times with all the free agents that you do have outside of, if you even want to be in on Juan Soto, just name a few again, Bichette, Vladdy, Chris Bassitt, those are the 3 I'll leave here because that is quite a big chunk of your money right there. Vladdy's been rumored to get about $40 million. Bichette could be from the 30 to 40 million range. If you want to repay Chris Bassitt, that's probably going to be at least 15. So that's a lot of money right there. If you want Juan Soto, again, we'll get into the contracts in the second segment here. But it's going to be a whole lot of money. Are you going to be able to pay all of these guys? Again, it's not our money. Rogers makes a lot of money. But with what they've displayed in their payroll, with their tax brackets and the luxury tax, things like that, they don't want to go necessarily all out for a team that, again, hasn't even shown success in the playoffs. So are you going to want to throw all this money at a superstar when you have so many other flaws on your team already? That's another conversation that Ross Atkins and company are probably having right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I think it's time. Let's talk about these contracts. Let's get into it. Because, that is the big question, right? There's so many extensions that need to be given out. And that's before we talk about any kind of free agent. So let's talk about those in this next segment. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. We'll go over everything and see if the contract for Juan Soto or any of these free agents really fit into this Blue Jays mold. We'll be right back.
Today's episode is sponsored by Ibotta. Ibotta is a free app that lets you earn cash back whenever you shop. Earn on hundreds of items from groceries to beauty supplies to your Halloween candy. You can make sure you're beating inflation no matter what you're purchasing. The average Ibotta user earns $256 per year. That could cover the cost of an entire shopping trip, buy that flight you've been eyeing, that game you've been dying to go to, or that fancy dinner you've been craving. Other apps give you the points that don't amount to much. With Ibotta, just add your offers in the app, upload your receipt, and you get real cash back that you can cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. You can save on over 2,700 brands on over 1,000 retailers, including Lowe's, Macy's, Sephora, Best Buy, and more. Right now, Ibotta is offering listeners $5 just for trying Ibotta by using the code LOCKEDONMLB when you register. Just go to the App Store or Google Play Store and download the free Ibotta app, start earning cash back, and use code LOCKEDONMLB. That's IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store and use code LOCKEDONMLB.
Carter, we talked about some of these contracts that we think Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. are worth to us and what we think that their contract should be. And that's not taking into consideration, like you said, Chris Bassitt or any outside contracts they want to bring in the offseason. For me, I want to start here. What I think Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to get is probably going to be 37 or 38 million a year. Bichette, you're probably looking at 33, 34. It's going to be less. Vlad is the big name. He is the superstar. And after this past year, I think his value is just more. And that's probably where those guys stand. But again, the Blue Jays might get lucky and it might be less. They might dish out more to keep them. We'll have to wait and see those, but it's in that range. To me, looking at other contracts, that's just what seems the norm for these two. But if you're looking at a guy like Juan Soto, Carter, I know you sort of crunch the numbers a little bit. What are we looking at for some like comparable contracts for guys like it's hard to say guys like Juan Soto. There isn't too many guys like Juan Soto. But what are some comparables here in the league?
Yeah, so the way I'm going to phrase this is I'm going to give you the top 5 contracts in the MLB right now, and then I'm going to give you 3 different contracts that I found from different articles, reports, things like that are rumored contracts for Juan Soto this offseason. So at number 5, Manny Machado is $350 million for 11 years. Then you got Aaron Judge, $360 million, 9 years. That's $40 million per. For Manny Machado, that is $31.8 million per. Then we go into Mookie Betts, $365 million over 12 years, which is just over $30 million per year. Mike Trout at $426.5 million over 12 years. That is $35.5 million. And then the Shohei Ohtani, obviously happening this offseason, that hurt our feelings and kind of just honestly ruined 2024 for the Toronto Blue Jays right off the rip. But we got Shohei Ohtani at $700 million over 10 years, which is $70 million. Absolutely insane that a baseball player is making that. But hey, you look at Shohei Ohtani, I think if there's any baseball player in the league, you're probably okay with paying Shohei Ohtani that compared to everyone else. But with the contract talks, I've seen this is like the least likely thing that's going to happen. Some people have Juan Soto signing like this little bridge deal sort of thing between 3 and 5 years. They have a 4-year contract around $200 million. So that'd be $50 million per year. That'd be the highest on the per year basis. Then I saw a couple other ones. This one's from Mark Feensand. He believes that he's going to want 10 years at $400 million, which is right at $40 million per. And then the other one I have is 15 years at $440 million. Some reporters are speculating it could be a 15-year at $600 million, which would be the second highest contract in MLB history. A lot of these other contracts fit right inside the top 3 as well. So this is kind of what you're having to pay for Juan Soto. And just a tad bit for thought here, Juan Soto rejected a 15-year, $440 million contract from the Nationals in 2022. So an absolute floor for me would be 15-year. If you're going on the 15-year scale, probably at $500 million. You're probably looking to pay Juan Soto from all these reports if you kind of get everything together. It's going to be from $37.5 million to $42.5 million, which is going to be the second highest contract in MLB history. So that's kind of what you're looking to dish out for Juan Soto. If you're going to have to play Vlad, you're going to have to play Bo. This is going to be an interesting conversation for Ross Atkins and the financial department to have in this Toronto Blue Jays team.
Well, and Carter, to be honest with you, if you want to see where I value Juan Soto, if Aaron Judge is making $40 million a year, you don't judge Juan Soto as high as you judge Aaron Judge. You would put him, I honestly don't, I would put Vlad higher than him as well. Yes, it's probably close, but it's probably around that $38, $39 million mark as well. You can't compare him to Aaron Judge. But in saying that, every year, every contract is based on the previous one and based on the guy who signed before. And so Juan Soto, yeah, you're probably looking at a $40 million contract, even though I think it would be a slap in the face to Vlad if you pay Juan Soto 40 and you offer Vlad 36. So how does that leave you with your superstar?
Yeah,
Probably not good.
There's also a question about if these guys are petty. You don't really see the pettiness as much in the MLB. Like NFL is really bad for seeing pettiness with the contracts. Like, oh, I want $500,000 more in the contract just to say that I make more than you. I don't necessarily think that's going to be a thing for Juan Soto and company. And when you talk about Aaron Judge, these guys were in different spots in their career. Aaron Judge, when he signed his contract 2023, obviously last year, contracts are going up every year, like you said. But this guy was 29 years old. Juan Soto is, you can say Aaron Judge is in his prime for sure. But Juan Soto is 25 years old. you can sign this guy to a very long-term deal. You're going to have more service time from Juan Soto than you would have with Aaron Judge. So you can argue that maybe Juan Soto deserves to make a little bit more due to his age. But it's going to be, with the Vladdy stuff. It's like, does Vladdy think he should be paid more than Juan Soto? Is this something that he's going to be a little bit annoying about? Is he going to be, I can't think of the word right now, like stubborn? Bitter. Is he going to be stubborn about this and just want more money than Juan Soto? I don't necessarily think so, but who knows? There's a lot of big contracts you're going to have to pay out. Ross Atkins has said multiple times he wants to extend Vladdy and Bichette. I don't know if you can extend all three of those guys with the Toronto Blue Jays payroll. Again, this is a top 10 team in payroll, a team that has shown that they can pay big contracts, but asking for three superstars at the same time, there's going to have to be somebody that's cut, and it makes the most sense right now. You already have Bichette on your team. You already have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on your team. I think they probably lean more towards Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., unfortunately, than Juan Soto.
Yeah, I agree. And the only question mark this poses for me, Carter, is the fact that those extensions haven't been signed with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bichette. So in my thinking, are they waiting for free agency to offer Juan Soto a bigger contract and then make their decision after that? Which, again, I think I'm pretty upset about that if I'm Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bichette. That's an outside guy who has not been with this organization now takes priority over the extension for two guys want to be here. At the end of the day, I don't know. Like, if I'm in Vlad's shoes, I'm probably a little bit cheesed at that. Will it affect anything? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the plan, but that sure is what it's seeming like from the outside.
Yeah, that would be a terrible look for the organization. I think at that point, if, like you said, if you go outside the organization, paid a guy $40 million, Vladdy's probably asking for around $40 million. I think there definitely would be a little bit of bitterness, considering that they're prioritizing a guy, like you said, that hasn't been in the franchise whatsoever, compared to a guy that's homegrown and has been in the Toronto Blue Jays franchise his entire baseball career. And we also got to think of just the directions of some baseball teams. There's teams that are in on Juan Soto. The Mets and Yankees, as I said, are front runners. The Dodgers are always in just because they're the Dodgers, unfortunately. The Giants are one. The Cubs are one. The Blue Jays. A lot of these teams are top 10 in payroll. The Mets are number 1. The Yankees are 2. Dodgers are 5. Cubs are 7. The Jays are 9. And the Giants are 10. So these teams do have the ability to fork over for Juan Soto. Some teams probably even overpay for Juan Soto. If you're a team like the Giants, you need a superstar badly on that team. I can see them definitely overpaying for Juan Soto. The Mets have the highest payroll in baseball. They always want to compete. They're competing right now, obviously. So Juan Soto would definitely help their team as well. And are you more likely as Juan Soto to come back when you have Aaron Judge in a lineup, when you have Brandon Nimmo, like maybe a Pete Alonso coming back, Francisco Lindor, as opposed to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Bichette, who didn't have a very good year last year, and a Toronto Blue Jays team that finished 5th in the AL East? I think a lot of this is roster construction. Juan Soto obviously wants to win. He's probably going to want to go to a winning team. It's going to be an interesting thing with his perspective on how the Toronto Blue Jays organization is set up for the future, especially if he's trying to sign a deal that is 10, 12, or 15 years.
Yeah, and that's part of it. It all comes down to what's the direction. And I think having Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. signed to long-term extensions probably helped the conversation with Juan Soto. The only problem is then with those guys extended, do you want to pay them? So if there's so many levels to everything that's going on here, and let me end it here, Carter. Do I think that the Blue Jays will put in an offer that is ridiculous for Juan Soto? Yeah, probably. Probably. Do I think that they're going to end up with Juan Soto? No. He'll go to my guess is if I was to bet on FanDuel right now, where will Juan Soto end up? The odds are probably 1,000,000 to 1 that he's going to the Yankees, because that's probably what's going to happen. Let's not kid ourselves here. As Blue Jays fans, we're going to be dealing with this guy forever, playing against him for the rest of the time that we're watching Vlad and Bo play, which is sad, but that's just the truth.
Yeah, that's going to be an unfortunate player if he would go back to the Yankees. That just makes this conversation that much harder, because if you don't get Juan Soto, it's a good chance he's going to be in your division, causing havoc on the Toronto Blue Jays pitching staff for a very long time. So ideally, obviously goes to the Blue Jays. But if he's not going to come to the Blue Jays, get out of our division. Yeah. For the love of God. I do not want to play this guy 19 times a year, especially when you already have Aaron Judge locked up. It's not a fun lineup to go against when you got Aaron Judge and Juan Soto back-to-back in an order. But there's, again, we got a long free agency ahead of us. We're not even there yet. So nothing can happen right now. We're going to have to see how this season plays out. So the storylines will obviously pick up. The trends and things we'll be on top of. The Juan Soto watch has officially started. But again, how likely is he coming to the Toronto Blue Jays? One, we can hope. I guess we always do have hope. But just be careful with how much hope you're treading in, because we have been hurt before as Toronto Blue Jays fans. But let's not talk about Toronto Blue Jays anymore. Let's talk about some teams that are still competing for the World Series. We'll talk about maybe Juan Soto's team a little bit. Our predictions for the rest of the MLB series. Obviously, we're cheating a little bit because the Mets and Dodgers did play. But we're going to provide you our predictions. We did this before Game 1 anyway. So we're just going to take a short break and come back to you with that.
Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. You guys always know I'm a huge better on FanDuel. I just won a bunch of money on the NFL the other night. So I'm pretty pumped up to talk about FanDuel because I will be placing bets tonight for Monday Night Football. So actually, I think I had them in since yesterday. So there you go. And probably what I'm going to do is use their live parlays as well, which you could do. So when you get a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. I'm telling you, take advantage of this deal. Not too many places give you free money to go and place your bets, so make sure you take advantage. Visit FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com, America's #1 sportsbook. So, Carter, let's get into it. The race for the World Series is on. As sad as that is to say, coming from two Blue Jays fans. And it did not start off well. It didn't start off well. A team that I don't think anybody wants to see win the World Series, the Dodgers absolutely took the Mets to the woodshed and beat the holy hell out of them. 9-0 Dodgers over the Mets. It hurts. It hurts me to watch that, to be honest with you, Carter. Like, I don't want to see the Yankees win. I don't want to see the Dodgers win. And it just looks like it's going to be a Yankees-Dodgers World Series, and I hate to say it.
I don't see how the Dodgers just lose a series to the Mets. I said it in the last episode when we were talking about our playoff predictions. The Dodgers are going to the World Series. You said that some people wouldn't want to see the Dodgers win. That's the Blue Jays fans. I mean, you got Teoscar Hernandez there, ring chasing. Kevin Kiermaier is obviously there as well. Kevin Biggio was almost there. He tried his best, but obviously got DFA'd. Unfortunately, it's on the Braves now. But some people want to see Kevin Kiermaier and Teoscar Hernandez go get their ring. And I can't say that I don't want to see that either, but I also don't want to see, I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit of a Shohei Ohtani hater. I don't want to see that guy get a ring right now. I don't want to see Mookie Betts get a ring. I don't want to see any of these guys get rings once again for the Dodgers. On the other side, Guardians, Yankees. Obviously, I don't want the Yankees to win. I have a good feeling about that series, though. I think the Guardians are going to bounce back. They got some momentum from the Tigers. What a series that was as well. The Tigers obviously kind of fumbling a little bit at the end, blew a series lead, but took to 5 games. That's a little bit of a insanity around that. Hopefully, Toronto Blue Jays can maybe go on next season, maybe make it a little bit farther. But I'd honestly be fine with a DS finish. But for me, I got Dodgers Guardians. That's kind of what I'm rolling with.
I like that. I wish that, but I don't know, man. It just seems like it's written in the stars right now for the Yankees and the Dodgers. The reason I don't want the Dodgers to win is they spend so much money, and I don't think I'll ever get over that. As much as I love Teo, and Kiermaier, it would be great for him to get one in his final year, absolutely, before he retires. I really wish all the best for him, but I for some reason, I just cannot back the Dodgers. But if it's a Yankees-Dodgers final, 100%, I'm pulling out the Dodgers jersey. I'm repping with the boys. You know what I mean? So, Freddie Freeman, one of my favorite players of all time. So, maybe I am going for the Dodgers. I don't know.
There you go, Canadian. You can't hate on Canadians in the MLB because there's not too many of them, and there's definitely not many of them that are good. So, shout out to Freddie Freeman. But the Dodgers, their pitching lock. I mean, if they had all their pitching staff, you got to think that at least on paper, you got to think they're easily breezing through everything. But Gavin Stone, their young rookie, has ACL surgery, gone for all of 2025. So that's kind of the Dodgers pitching lock. I guess that's maybe a little bit of karma for like what their history and just overspending and trying to buy championships rather than trying to go from a little bit more of a homegrown approach. But baseball's on. These series have been electric. The ALDS, the NLDS series have been awesome. Like, again, Tigers Guardians was sweet. The Mets, I don't know how they keep doing it. They got, again, the brakes beaten off them in the first game of the Dodgers series, but who knows? They've been overcoming the odds the entire playoffs. So it's been fun to watch some playoff baseball. Obviously, be a lot more fun if the Jays were there, but again, we're enjoying it while it's on.
Yeah, man, it is fun. It really is. And we'll keep updating you guys sort of as the series go on, sort of in this third segment, sort of that we do. We'll try to keep that as much as we can until the World Series is over. We'll try to just talk some MLB in general, because we're Jays fans through and through, but it's still playoff baseball and it's still a blast to watch. It's pretty much on all the time in our house. So yeah, we're watching, but I don't know, Carter. I guess in saying that, you got anything else before we sort of kick out of here?
Yeah, with Juan Soto, let's leave the Juan Soto stuff at least till free agency. Like, if we're gonna get hurt, we're gonna get hurt, and I'm probably at some point going to be in on the Juan Soto sweepstakes. I'm probably gonna fall into it just because Juan Soto, such a good baseball player, generational talent. Like, to be interested to see what Mark Shapiro's stance on generational talent with Juan Soto would be. But maybe that's something that we can look forward to for a 2025 season. Being very optimistic, obviously, about this Toronto Blue Jays free agency.
Yeah, we're not going to try to pump your timeline full of Juan Soto here and this. This will be our one-off, at least until there's actual contract negotiations going on. In saying that, though, we got another good episode coming tomorrow. Holy moly, the news just keeps coming in. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. Like I said, make sure you guys go take a look at our shop. If you're still here, it really does help us out. There's some cool stuff there. Just go take a look. There's so many options here. Here's some of them. There's another one. Just put up these. Go take a look. There's David Schneider ones. There's us. There's we used to always say get 6 in the 6 and we could win some games. And so we got 6 in the 6 merch as well. A lot there. Go take a look as well. Join the Discord and drop a subscription if you are still new here on YouTube. Anywhere else, we really appreciate you watching. Go check those out as well. And Carter, we do appreciate everybody making their first listen every day. But if you want like a full-on MLB breakdown, this is what's happening, go check out Locked On MLB with host Paul Sullivan. Sully, he's going to be breaking it all down for you guys as well. So you can go check him out over there and make him, your second listen. Anyway, my guy, I feel like my brain is mush on this Monday. So anything else from you?
Yeah, I've obviously you guys aren't going to see this as the viewers, but a little bit of a rough episode for me and saying words. Words are tough sometimes. So yeah, I'll take this one on the chin. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Obviously, we do a lot of time and effort into those things. The Juan Soto episode, a little bit overdue, obviously, but we had a bunch of stuff to talk about. Things just kept coming out. So this, again, will not be the last time we talk about Juan Soto. Hopefully not for a little bit, but again, we'll see if some more information comes out. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.